mutton-chopped man interrupted them to point out that in his opinion, good was not the avoidance of evil, but something more positive than that. It was making the world a better place. Then he chuckled to show that he was only joking and that he knew that the conversation was really only about what to drink. The beer the landlord poured for Shadow was dark and very bitter. He was not certain that he liked it. "What is it?" "It's called Black Dog," said the woman. "I've heard people say it was named after the way you feel after you've had one too many." "Like Churchill's moods," said the little man. "Actually, the beer is named after a local dog," said a younger woman. She was wearing an olive-green sweater and standing against the wall. "But not a real one. Semi-imaginary." Shadow looked down at Needles, then hesitated. "Is it safe to scratch his head?" he asked, remembering the fate of the fox. "Course it is," said the white-haired woman. "He loves it, don't you?" "Well, he practically had that tosser from Glossop's finger off," said the landlord. There was admiration mixed with warning in his voice. "I think he was something in local government," said the woman, "and I've always thought that there's nothing wrong with dogs biting them. Or VAT inspectors." The woman in the green sweater moved over to Shadow. She was not holding a drink. She had dark, short hair and a crop of freckles that spattered her nose and cheeks. She looked at Shadow. "You aren't in local government, are you?" Shadow shook his head. He said, "I'm kind of a tourist." It was not actually untrue. He was travelling anyway. "You're Canadian," said the mutton-chop man. "American," said Shadow, "but I've been on the road for a while now." "Then," said the white-haired woman, "you aren't actually a tourist. Tourists turn up, see the sights, and leave." Shadow shrugged, smiled, and leaned down. He scratched the landlord's lurcher on the back of its head. "You're not a dog person, are you?" asked the dark-haired woman. "I'm not a dog person," said Shadow. Had he been someone else, someone who talked about what was happening inside his head, Shadow might have told her that his wife had owned dogs when she was younger and sometimes called Shadow Puppy because she wanted a dog she could not have. But Shadow kept things on the inside. It was one of the things he liked about the British. Even when they wanted to know what was happening on the inside, they did not ask. The world on the inside remained the world on the inside. His wife had been dead for 3 years now. "If you ask me," said the man with the mutton chops, "people are either dog people or cat people. So would you then consider yourself a cat person?" Shadow reflected. "I don't know. We never had pets when I was a kid. We were always on the move, but—" "I mention this," the man continued, "because our host also has a cat, which you might wish to see." "Used to be out here, but we moved it to the back room," said the landlord from behind the bar. Shadow wondered how the man could follow the conversation so easily while also taking people's meal orders and serving their drinks. "Did the cat upset the dogs?" he asked. Outside the rain redoubled. The wind moaned and whistled, and then howled. The log fire burning in the little fireplace coughed and spat. "Not in the way you're thinking," said the landlord. "We found it when we knocked through into the room next door, when we needed to extend the bar." The man grinned. "Come and look." Shadow followed the man into the room next door. The mutton-chop man and the white-haired woman came with them, walking a little behind Shadow. Shadow glanced back into the bar. The dark-haired woman was watching him, and she smiled warmly when he caught her eye. The room next door was better lit, larger, and it felt a little less like somebody's front room. People were sitting at tables, eating. The food looked good and smelled better. The landlord led Shadow to the back of the room, to a dusty glass case. "There she is," said the landlord proudly. The cat was brown, and it looked, at first glance, as if it had been constructed out of tendons and agony. The holes that were its eyes were filled with anger and with pain. The mouth was wide open, as if the creature had been yowling when she was turned to leather.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.